Hello and welcome to Confessions of a Yarn Addict. My name is Anniken and I live in the southwest of England, where I teach knitting workshops and I design knitting patterns. I actually teach knitting workshops around the UK, but I'm based in the southwest of England. So thank you very much for joining me. If you're a new viewer here, thank you very much. I hope you enjoy the channel and that you will decide to subscribe. If you're a returning viewer, thank you very much. I really appreciate your support, and I want to say a special thank you and for all your support to all of you who were watching me last year and all of you who have been subscribing to my channel. I've had a YouTube channel for a few years now, but I used to just upload the occasional tutorial, and when I started, to be quite honest, the content was good, I think, but my equipment wasn't very good, so the lighting wasn't very good and things like that. So I am going to, this year, one of the things I want to do is to go through some of my older tutorials, and the ones that I can redo, I might try and redo. Some of them I'm not going to redo because they were stuff I was doing at the time. So for example, fixing mistakes that happened on a particular project, or like one tutorial I did, which I think is still up. I did lose a bunch of tutorials last year when I deleted one of my Google Mail email accounts. Anyway, I won't go on about that now, more about that later. So I haven't been very sort of intentional about my YouTube channel for a while. Then at the start of the pandemic, I thought I would try and post a bit more regular, but it was still a bit haphazard. And then a few months ago, I thought, right, let's get starting to get really regular with this. And then I can't remember exactly when it was, sometime this autumn, I thought, all right, I'm going to try and post a video every week on a specific day, and just get a little bit more intentional and put more effort into YouTube, because I'm really enjoying doing these videos. When I first started recording tutorials, I didn't really enjoy it. I was very nervous. I hated the editing. I hated listening to myself talk, but I actually quite enjoy it now. So last year, in 2021, in the autumn, I sort of decided to become a bit more intentional about when I was posting and that kind of stuff. And I can't remember what it was, probably sometime in November maybe. After I did Vlogtober in October, I kind of set myself a goal of reaching 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2021. Now, 1,000 subscribers aren't that many considering how long I've had a YouTube channel for, but I've never really made a proper effort to grow my YouTube channel. So I think when I set this goal, I probably had I think about 800 or something. Anyway, I woke up yesterday or the day before, I can't remember. I think it might have been yesterday, to a message from YouTube to say that I'd reached 1,000 subscribers. So I hope by the time this video goes up, then nobody's unsubscribed and it goes below 1,000. But I just want to say thank you to everyone who subscribed. I really appreciate you being here, and I really appreciate reaching this milestone. So I said back in the autumn, when I set that goal of 1,000 subscribers, that I would do a giveaway if I reached 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2021. Now, technically I reached it a few days later. I think on New Year's Eve. I think I checked it quite late in the evening, and I had something like 995. So as I reached 1,000 subscribers just a few days later, I take that as a goal reached, and I will do a giveaway, but I need to think about exactly what I'm going to do, so I'll update you on that in the next video and plan this properly, because this video hasn't really been planned. Another thing I want to tell you about before I go into what this video is going to be about is that I have a New Year's offer. I just need to look at my notes so I don't forget what the details are. So until 9th of January, what day is it today? Today is the 6th of January, so 9th is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 9th of January, I'm offering 20% off everything in my YarnAddict online shop. So I rarely do a 20% off discount. Normally it's 10 or 15% occasionally, but I rarely do 20%. But I'm doing 20% off until 9th of January, everything in the YarnAddict online shop. So yarn, beads, crochet hooks for adding beads, row counters, my books, easy lace knits and beaded lace knitting. And I don't have very many books left at the moment, so if you want a book, be quick. And the code is New Year, so all in one word, New Year, WYEAR. I'll put all the details in the link below, so if you didn't catch that, just go to the description below this video and you'll find all the details there. So otherwise today, I thought as I've just got back from holiday, I would just do a little recap of what I knitted and what I didn't knit in Norway, and what I purchased in Norway, and what my goal is for the next couple of weeks. Another thing I want to just mention is that going forward this year, my plan is, and plans don't always go to plan, but my plan is to carry on to try and post every Friday. I might change the day, I don't know, but at the moment I'm going to stick with Friday. And I'm going to alternate between podcast type and vlog type videos, and also tutorials and reviews. I'm going to try and do some more reviews. The last lot of reviews I did were on circular needles, and I reviewed Knit Pro, Lykke and Chaugu, talking about circular needles and interchangeable needles, and they were very popular. So I want to do more reviews, and I've had good feedback on my reviews in the past. So if there's something you'd like me to review, let me know. I'll also share in the coming weeks some of my favourite knitting products, what you need to think about to achieve a successful knitting project. A few things, I've got a list of ideas. So what I'm planning to do is every other week do a vlog podcast style video where I update you about what's going on in my life, maybe share a little bit of out and about where I live in Cornwall, or if I'm on holiday and that kind of thing, which I've been doing anyway. And then the weeks in between, I will alternate between tutorials and reviews. So we'll see how that plan works out. When it gets busy, things don't always go to plan, but we'll see. I do have a tutorial planned for next week, Friday next week. There is a tutorial already scheduled to go up, which I filmed before I went to Norway. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about what I did and didn't knit while I was in Norway over Christmas, and what I purchased. So we'll look at that next. Let's go back to the summer. No, September still summer. In September, end of September, first week in October probably, really, I was going to Spain for a week to see my parents, and I can't remember whether I cast on this project for the trip or whether I'd already cast it on earlier in the summer. I can't remember, but I decided to take this project because it was fairly small at the time and it was easy to manage, and I knew it would provide plenty of knitting for a week. So a few years ago I designed a poncho called the Lavinia poncho. Do I have the date here when I designed it? Yes, 2016 I published it. The date when I published a pattern is on the bottom of each of my patterns. So it's 2016. I used the yarn which I no longer sell. Photos aren't that great. I didn't like the colour, so I kind of haven't really done much to promote that pattern over the last few years, and I don't even know what's happened to the original sample. So I decided I would re-knit it. Actually, think about it, I did start this first week in October, because when I was at Yarndale at the end of September, I saw this yarn on my stall. It's Lace Ball, or is it Lace Ball 100? Hang on. It's Lace Ball. Lace Ball from Shopball. I just caught that colour. The colours in this is gorgeous, really sort of rich dual tones, and I thought I want to knit something with that. Then I thought, what shall I do? So I decided, because I wanted to redo Lavinia for a while, so I decided I would redo my Lavinia poncho. And I also wanted to make it a bit longer so they fitted me better, because I'm quite tall and I'm big, so I needed a bit longer really. So Lavinia is a circular poncho knitted from the top down, and it's all over lace. And I took it on holiday with me at the end of October. Don't know how far I got, and since then I've been knitting on it on and off more, but not a lot, because I had other projects and I had loads of deadlines in the autumn. So when I went to Norway, I thought, right, I'm going to take this project, and my #1 goal for this holiday is to finish this project. Did I finish it? Nearly. So this project has beads. I only brought one bag of beads. The beads are 500. So the original pattern, apologies for the ruffling of yarn. Oh, that's the poncho. I didn't realize there's a picture on here. That's Emily modeling this 2016. She's changed a bit since as well. That's the poncho. So the original used 672 beads, which was 2 bags. I must have not read that properly because I only took 1 bag of beads with me to Norway. And as I was making it bigger, I would have more stitches, which I should have realized I would need 2 bags because, but I didn't. I brought 1 bag with me. Beads only on the edging. And I have got that many beads left. Can you see that in the bottom of my tin? Hang on, I don't think you can. There we go. I got like a few beads left. That's a pretty tin I bought in Norway, by the way. I have half a round left of beading to do. So let's have a look. Can you see that? Is that focusing? I don't know. Can you see it? Okay, so I have now got over 1,000 stitches. So the original shawl ended up on, let me just consult my pattern again. The original pattern ended up on 900 stitches. I've got over 1,000 now. I think I counted like 1,006 or something. I think I've only done about 20 rounds more than what the original pattern was. It's not a huge amount. But I'm running out of beads. So I ran out of beads with half a round to go. So I had half a round of beading to go, so half a pattern round, then I had 1 plain knit round to go, and then I got a cast off. So I got so close and I was so annoyed that I couldn't finish it. So that is one of my priorities. Well, it's kind of my number 2 priority because I do have another priority. So let me just put that away quickly so that doesn't get damaged. So I didn't get to finish that, and that was one of my main things I wanted to finish in Norway. The only thing I did finish in Norway was my socks. So this sock blocker is a bit small for the socks I knitted to fit my feet, and this sock blocker is a bit small, which is why it looks a bit baggy and funny. But these are, so I got both socks, but I couldn't be bothered to find more than 1 sock blocker. So I haven't got the other socks as well. If you watched one of my videos from Norway, you will have seen that I finished these. I've worn them a few times as well for the last few days in Norway. So this is the West Yorkshire Spinners Signature 4-ply Sparkle. It's in one of their special Christmas colourways, and it's called Vintage Tinsel, and I believe that was the Christmas colourway for 2021. They do seem to bring all their previous Christmas colourways back every year. I do have the 2021 as well sitting there. So I do have that video and that yarn as well for something else. So really like them, pretty colours, like the sparkle. If it didn't have sparkle, I might have given these to Simon, but he doesn't like the sparkle, but otherwise he likes the colours. So I'm keeping these for myself. I use my Aventurious pattern, which is what I normally use, especially with self-striping yarn. So I use my Aventurious pattern, which is available as a pattern I just both toe up and cuff down, with a choice of 2 afterthought heels and 2 toes. I did toe up with a wedge toe, which is what I normally do, and then I did a swirly afterthought heel, because that doesn't interrupt the stripes. So I finished that, I can't remember, a few days ago, for the end of 2021 anyway. So that was my last project of 2021. New Year's Eve or the day before New Year's Eve, I don't know. So I immediately cast on for another pair of socks. Let me just duck down and get it quickly. Cast on for another pair of socks straight away with some yarn that I actually bought in Norway. So I tend to wind my yarn when it comes in like a big loose ball thing. I tend to wind it into either hand wind it or do it on my ball winder into a tighter ball, because it just takes up less space, because I like to use these tiny project pouches. So I bought this in the local yarn shop. There are 2 local yarn shops where my parents live, and I cast on. I had actually brought some other yarn that I was going to cast on with, but I cast on for these really pretty colours, quite muted, match my nails. I knitted a lot on these on Monday we had to go to Oslo for our pre-return COVID test. but the UK requires you to have a COVID test within 48 hours of returning to the UK, which is a rule that's being scrapped tomorrow. So if we come back 2 days later, wouldn't have had to have that test. Well, 2 days and an hour and a half later, because I think it's supposed to be scrapped 4 p.m. on Friday. We came back at 2:45 on Wednesday. So we had to go into Oslo for COVID test. So we decided, as we had to go into Oslo, my parents live about 40 minutes on the train outside of Oslo, 40 kilometers outside of Oslo. So we took the train in, and then we decided we'd spend the day in Oslo. The weather was miserable. It was really foggy most of the day. My last vlog from Norway, which is, I think its title is Norway Final Vlog or something. I did share a lot of what we did in Oslo. So if you want to have a look at that, you can do. But I did knit this. And I decided to do a heel called the Fish Lips Kiss heel. And normally when I get to the heel, when I do my afterthought heel, I just knit a waist yarn in, then I carry on. So I just knit a tube with a waist yarn covering half the stitches where the heel is going to be, and then I knit the heel later. So I decided to do Fish Lips Kiss heel. It's a pattern that you can buy on Ravelry. I don't know if it's available anywhere else. I'm not going to link to Ravelry, but if you wanted, you can just search Fish Lips Kiss heel if you're available to go on Ravelry. I don't know if it's available anywhere else. I'm sorry. I bought it quite a few years ago, and quite a few times I've opened it up and thought, right, let's do this. But to be quite honest, it's a very wordy pattern, and she suggests to get like perfectly fitting socks. So you draw the shape of your feet on a piece of cardboard, and there's just a lot to it. And normally I've kind of got halfway through page 2 and I'm like, oh, I can't bother. Let's just go by normal heels. This time I read the first page and I skipped down to the instructions, because I know how to make the socks long enough and get a good fit. That's not the thing. I just want to see if these heels would actually be okay for my feet. They use short rows. I don't normally like short row heels. They don't fit my feet. I've got quite a high instep, deep feet, so I don't normally like short rows. They don't provide enough fabric kind of at the widest part of the deepest part of my foot. But loads of people rave about it, so I thought I would have a go. Now the first time I did it, so you do short rows for half the heel, then you do like what she calls a boomerang row, which is kind of like a consolidation row if you like, and then you do the second half. So the first half is this, from about there where my finger is. That's the first half. That's fine, happy with that. Then I did the consolidation, the boomerang row, and then the second half is that to the end of where that lilac stripe is. And when I actually did that bit when we were on the boat trip around the Oslo fjord, and when I looked at it on that side, I thought, yeah, that looks okay. I'm quite happy with that. Then I looked on the other side and it looked awful, really awful. So I unpicked the second half. I'd only done half of the second half, so I unpicked that, and then I did it again. I tried to do it a bit tighter. So if you've done the Fish Lips Kiss heel, I think they're called shadow short rows. I haven't done these short rows before, but I watched the designer who's SOX therapist on Ravelry and on Instagram. I watched her tutorial, and on YouTube I watched her tutorials. She's got a couple of very short tutorials for how to do these short rows. I watched those. They're fairly easy to do, but the TSK and TSP, and my TSP are too loose. So let's have a look here. So that looks better than my first attempt, but it's not as good as that. So I decided I would leave it like this and just carry on. I think I'm happy with that. And then when I do the second sock, I will try and do a better job of it. But we'll see. By the way, the project pouch that I'm using for this, which is quite small actually, is from Plister, which is a Norwegian company that specializes in project bags. I actually have another one of their project bags here, which I put loads of pins on. The big project bags have loads of pockets inside, and I quite like it. And when I knit with it, I just fold the top edge over so so that my yarn doesn't catch in the zip. And before Christmas they launched a smaller pouch. My needles are sticking out. I'm just gonna, so when you put needles in a bag that your needles can poke out of, it's a good idea if you actually stick them into the ball of yarn, which I didn't do. So normally I poke my needles through there and then I pop them in, and then they won't stick out through the fabric. So when I saw these bags, I didn't actually look at the measurements, so I ordered one. I had it delivered to my parents' place, so I wouldn't have to pay for international postage and toll and all, customs fees and all that kind of stuff. So I had it sent to my parents' address, so that was waiting for me when I arrived. It's not as pink as what is pink. It's not as bright yellow as what is showing up on my screen. It's kind of a bit more mellow yellow, I would say. Really pretty yellow. I really like it. And when I first saw it, I thought, oh, that was a bit smaller than I expected. But it is actually the kind of size that I like for a sock project. That was what my socks were in when I went to Norway, so I swapped them over to there. I like to keep my socks in a fairly small project bag, because it's easier just to chuck in my handbag. So just wanted to mention that as well. All the links to everything I talk about, by the way, will be below this video. So let's carry on with socks. I bought a ball of yarn. I have shared a lot about what I bought in Norway in videos when I was in Norway, so I'm not going to do a specific video on that. But I bought this ball of yarn. That's what, I actually divided it into 2 balls. So I split it equally, hand bound it into 2 balls. This is, let's just get the label out. So this was purchased in one of the local yarn shops where my mum lives. The 2 local yarn shops. This one was purchased in one, and this was purchased in the other one. It's Viking of Norway, which is a yarn company, and it's called Aurora Super Sock, and it is a DK yarn. So it's 150 grams, and it has, how many meters has it got? 375 meters. So I did cast on, and I didn't do a lot. I knitted the toe and a few rounds. So I had hoped to finish that in Norway. I just dropped the ball on the yarn, so we'll leave that there. I had hoped to finish it in Norway, but I didn't get very far on those. So they'll be a whip for a while. What else did I do? So let me just sort myself out a little bit here. Right, so the other project that I cast on, the other project that I brought with me to do in Norway, I didn't get very far. I brought 2 balls of West Yorkshire Spinners Exquisite 4-ply in the kind of dark grey and the light silver. Really pretty colours together. I wanted to design and knit a stranded colourwork cowl. And this was one of the projects that I had kind of hoped, in addition to that lace poncho, that I would finish in Norway, which I knew was probably unlikely. It's basically going to be a double layer cowl. So I did start it. When I realised that I wasn't going to be able to finish the poncho, I started this. And so far it looks really pretty. It's supposed to be folded there for like a picot. There, yeah, for a picot hem. I really like that. I didn't do very much, but I was kind of determined to start it. No idea when I'm going to finish this. I really would like to finish it by the end of January, but I also started another project, which I can't show you because I left it downstairs. But it uses this yarn, which arrived just before I went to Norway. So this is a design I'm doing for a magazine, and the deadline is in 2 weeks from yesterday, which means that I need to finish it 1 week from Monday. So I've got long. I've started the back, and I've knitted about probably that much. I was knitting on it at the airport yesterday, and when I got on the plane, well, while I was on the plane, just before we were due to land, I realised that I had knitted 10 rows wrong. Instead of knitting the first 10 rows of the pattern, I knitted the second 10 rows of the pattern. It's a 20 row repeat. So I had to unpick 10, well, the first row, first 2 rows were okay, and then I had to unpick 8 rows. So I was doing that as we were coming in from landing, just thinking, can I finish this before we land? Which I did. So I'm not going to talk too much about that or show you any details of that because it is secret for a magazine. Right, what else? Let's get through this. That yarn is opal, I think. I can't remember. Yeah, I think it's opal. Very bright. Not quite as bright as it looks on my screen, but it is very bright. that I brought to Norway. My plan was to design and knit some probably lace socks, but I didn't get around to that. And then in a yarn shop in Ski, which I can't remember what it was called now, but Ski's a town between where my parents live in Oslo. I did feature it in one of my videos from Norway. I bought 2 balls of Rauma Finul, which is a Norwegian yarn. It's Norwegian wool. It's like a 4-ply. I'm thinking about making mittens. I don't know whether to use these 2 together, or whether to use that one with, hang on, that one, which I bought last year when I was in Norway. They look nice together, so I don't know. I haven't decided yet, but nothing's going to happen with them for a while anyway. But I think I'll probably do some fingerless stranded colourwork mittens. Right, what else did I get? I'm just going through this quickly because I shared a bit about this anyway. In the same shop as I bought that Reimagan, I also bought this bag, which is, it says strikkedronning, which means knitting queen in Norwegian. I've used this a few times in Norway. I really like it. I would have preferred if it was like a bright pink colour, but this was the brightest colour they had. I like the fact that it's not white. I have a lot of like cotton shopping bags which are white, and they just get dirty and scruffy so quickly, so I like the fact that it's not white. And then I also bought a candle which came in that box, which is, let me see if I can do this without burning myself. Okay, it feels cool on the outside, by the way. So this is a candle. This was in one of the local yarn shops in Vestby where I was staying, and it says Nyt dagen og strikketøyet, which means enjoy the day and your knitting. So I like that. It's the scent is fresh linen. Doesn't really smell very much. I'm a little bit wary of candles with synthetic smells, but this one doesn't actually smell that much. And I really like the glass, so I'm hoping once this candle is burnt down that maybe I can get like a tea light or something to put in there. But I just like the fact that it said enjoy the day and your knitting. So I don't know whether to keep it in my office or whether to put it downstairs, we'll see, but I thought I'd like it for today. And then a couple of final things. I also got this notebook from the same yarn shop in Vestby. It's a dock red notebook. Not sure, can you see there's a dock red? No. I'm not sure what I'm going to use it for, but you can always do with notebooks. And then what else? Simon and I do like a stocking every year for each other, and we do one for the girls as well. And this year, because I don't know, December was just busy, and then, you know, we didn't know what was going to happen about Christmas and stuff, so we actually decided Simon wanted some photography stuff because he's got really into film photography, like, you know, old-fashioned film cameras. So he bought his own stocking because he wanted some film little bits and pieces for his cameras, and I ordered my own stocking, and I really didn't know what to get, so I went to Herdy.com. Herdy.com, is that their website? Herdy.co.uk. I've had some of their key rings and things before. They quite often have a stall when I'm at Woolfest in Cumbria. They used to have a stall there. They are a company, I think they're based in Cumbria, I think, in the north of England. Anyway, I used to have a key ring, a green one like this, but it fell apart, so I got a hot pink one with a little Herdy face on it. And then I got this pack of 3 little notebooks with sheepies on them. One is, oh, they're all lined. And then I got this one, which is a reusable shopping bag which folds into a pouch. So the whole bag is this kind of pattern. I'm not going to take it all out, but it's quite big, and it has a handle that you can fit over your shoulders. I really like that, and it's a really cute fabric. So I bought that for my stocking just to make sure I got something I wanted. So I really like that, and I just wanted to kind of, I didn't know what to get, and I just thought just order that quickly. I went on the Herdy website, and I really like those things, so I got those. So I think that's all I got to share. Oh no, one more thing to share before I call it a day. This video has turned up slightly longer than what I expected. I do like to talk. When I rode home yesterday, the Knitter magazine had arrived, so I don't know when this came out, but I think it arrived this week. So it's issue 172, I'm just going to find my design in here. So this was actually something I designed, I think it was in 2020. I did quite a few designs in a very short space of time for the knitter. So I think they've been like spacing them out a bit. So it's called Marrow, M-E-R-R-O-W, and it's lace and garter stitch. It's a small shawl. That's the main picture, which is really pretty. And then let me see if I can show you this without showing you the whole chart pattern. So I'm just going to hold this notebook so I don't show you because all the charts are there. So that's the shape of it. It's like I call it like a teardrop shape. So it's triangular, but the wings are much longer, so they drape around. So they're fairly easy to wear as a scarf, like that. Or you can drape it over your shoulders. Let me just cover up the charts again because I don't want to give away the whole pattern. Or you can drape it over your shoulders like that. So it is a small shawl. It is just one skein. And it's knitted in the fibre wrists, can't say that, Collins Unum fingering, which is a 4-ply, it's 100% superwash merino, 996 meters per 114 grams. It's slightly thicker than your average sock yarn, but most sock yarns have like 400 meters per 100 grams. The wingspan is 125 centimeters, so that's the whole width of the length of the top edge, and the depth of the widest is 42 centimeters. And it's really pretty, and I'm glad it's finally out. So issue 172 of the Knitter magazine. Really pretty jumper on the cover as well. Who's done that? That's by Sarah Hatton, and there are patterns as well by Cafacet, Francesca Hughes, Dario Tubiana, Emma Vining. Did I see something by, I'm sure I saw some other ones as well. It's got an article by Caroline Bourne of Gorgeous Yarns in Cornwall. Caroline is lovely. She dyed a yarn for the Autumn Slows poncho that I released just before Christmas. She's done an article on, or like a masterclass on repair, reuse and recycle, which I haven't read yet because this only came last night. Let me just show you some of the stuff in here. That's the Cafacet design, very pretty. There's a cowl and a hat. Oh, that's the hat, and that is by Caroline Burkett. That's how you pronounce it. And Lotta Löfgren again. I wonder if she's Swedish. That sounds a bit Swedish. Lotta H. Löfgren have designed this Lauther cardigan, so I guess that's a unisex cardigan. Very pretty. There's an article with Penny Batchelor of Colourworks about dyeing yarn. There is a very pretty cardigan by Emma Vining. Oh, that's gorgeous. Very pretty stranded colourwork jumper by Outie Cater. Apologies if I got that name wrong. There's some articles. There's my pattern, which I've shown you. I had a quick flick through this last night, but I didn't look properly. There's a very bright scarf pattern, stranded colourwork by, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly, Aiva Osolina. Apologies if I'm pronouncing these names completely wrong. There is a spotlight on Noro Haunui. Yeah, it's a new yarn by Noro. There's an article on that, and then this beautiful design, very neutral compared to what Noro normally does. Then there's an article about Norwegian knitting design book, Norwegian knitting designs 90 years later. I'm going to get that book, I think. Francesca Hughes has done some really pretty socks. This is this. Mary Henderson done a gorgeous poncho. It's gorgeous. I love the colours. Let's see what else there is. There is a advertising leaflet in the middle, which will stick in the recycling. Yeah, that's it. And the cover jumper by Sarah Hatton. So really pretty designs. I like the fact that they list all the designs and the designers on the contents page. So I'm going to sit down and have a proper look at that later, maybe over the weekend. So that's it. I better stop because this video is getting quite long. It was only meant to be a short video. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for joining me. Next week there will be a tutorial up. I'm not going to tell you what it's about. I'll post some more little snippets or little teaser videos if I remember later this week. I've started uploading some shorts, and I've also realised that I have a community tab where I can put up written posts. I'm learning about YouTube all the time. So next time I'll try and hopefully I'll be nearly finished with this deadline project I'm working on next time, and then I can talk a little bit about my knitting plans for the coming weeks. But I've got 3 deadlines this month. My sample knitter, one of my lovely sample knitters, had knitted 1 pattern which just came back today. I'm just going to make sure none of our addresses are showing, which I haven't opened yet, so my next job is to open that, which is due the same day as my design that I'm knitting is due. And then so I got 2 design for that deadline, then I got 1 for a couple of weeks later, which a week later I think it is, towards the end of the month, which is done by one of my other sample knitters. So really busy time. Yes, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. If you've already subscribed, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Make sure you don't miss my next vlog video, podcast video in 2 weeks, where I'm going to give you details of my giveaway that's coming up. And please leave a comment and tell me what you were knitting over the year, and if you have any specific knitting goals for this year. And if there's anything specific you would like me to talk about, tutorials, things you'd like me to review. If you have a product, if you are a business owner, yarny or knitting business owner, do you have a product that you would like me to review? If you do, let me know and I will have a look at it. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe please. It really helps me to grow this channel. Thank you very much and Happy New Year. I hope you have a lovely 2022. I say that a little cautiously because the pandemic is not going anywhere, and I thought we would be over with this by now, and it just seems to be getting worse. So whatever the situation is where you live, I hope you, and despite the pandemic and all the challenges that brings, I hope you have a lovely 2022 and all your knitting dreams come true. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.